Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our weekly stream on AI, to our AI show. I'm your host for today. My name is Pavel Dukovny. I'm from MongoDB. And today we have a very exciting session. Today we're going to be building a fully deployed application using prompts and AI tools. Backed by MongoDB Atlas. So we will be building something I called MongoMP, and that's going to be a music streaming platform. You're probably familiar with Spotify or YouTube Music, and we're going to build it all in this 1 hour or so that we have. So I'm very excited. Hello to everyone who's joining. As always, leave a comment. Tell us where you're joining us from. We're a bit early today, but hopefully this recording can also get to a lot of people and a lot of developers. I'm really excited. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show us what we're going to be building and what tools we're going to use. All right. So hopefully this is visible to everybody. I'm going to increase my screen just so we can focus on the tools. So there's a lot of AI coders out there. Some of them are better a little bit. Some of them are working with VS Code. Some of them are hosted online. Some of them can be deployed on your machine. And I've been testing a bunch of those coders along the way. And I came across V0 a few months ago. V0 is a tool by Vercel that allows you to code really nice JS UI. Well, at least that's how it started. Now they've added an ability to generate actually full stack applications. So that got me hooked. And the ease of deployment, the ease of development, the ease of prompting and using the chats. And I'll show that tricks and tips that I learned along the way actually got me really hooked. And as a Next.js kind of platform leader, they're really integrating well with MongoDB. So I'll be setting up my V0 project, which is a place I can kind of describe the project we're going to be building. So I've started by giving it a simple instruction that the project is aiming to build a music streaming platform. We're going to be using Next.js 14 with Outprouder for the application. To people who are not familiar with Next.js, this is a JavaScript-based framework that allows us to write front-end and back-end code within the same project. So it's really nice that we're going to be seeing our front-end code in the app directory, and then we're going to see our backend code in the API directory. So that's really nice. Really important is to add something like keep code clean and with comments on important sections, right? We want the code to be already with comments so we can understand it, debug it, and maybe even hint the LLMs that are powering this tool how to code or how to proceed to code. Keep components under 500 lines, right? Like large components tend to be pretty hard to code once you kind of iterate over them. So keeping the components under the 500 line mark is a good thumb rule. And also I'm guiding it that we're going to be using MongoDB, and we're going to be using the MongoDB driver specifically for the project. But let's fix that. But initially, we'll start with JSON mock data. And the reason for that is because the editing of the website with mock data will allow us to do it in the preview mode. When we add MongoDB, we'll need to deploy it to Vercel to actually see our website working. Although it's not a long process. It kind of slows down the thing. So I wanted to get the UI and everything working with mock data, and we'll continue to our MongoDB data being stored in MongoDB and continue our features with MongoDB. So I'm going to save that. We see that it's already connected to a Vercel project, which is very cool because I can already host it on Vercel. I can I can actually click this button, and it will take me to this specific project that was created here, and we can see that we don't have any deployments yet, but we're gonna make some. Additionally, what have I done? So I've created here a cluster called MongoMP, which will be the name of our platform. So it's a free tier cluster. It runs on M0. To people who are not familiar with MongoDB Atlas, it's our data platform that allows us to spin up MongoDB very easily. We have free tier, and then you can scale it up to petabytes of data, basically. So the way to create a cluster is very easy once you create a project within MongoDB Atlas. And let me actually pop a banner here, just so people can get how you connect to that. So so if you go to mongodb.com/try, you'll be directed to how to open an Atlas project and how to get your first cluster set up. Once we create the cluster, we can actually go to the connect button and get our connection string for our drivers, for shell, for the VS Code extension. Right, since we were going to be using the Node.js driver, we will probably later on land on this section, and we'll get our connection string and provide our username and password, and then we can connect to our MongoDB instance. I'll also be using MongoDB Compass to connect to that to Atlas. So it's a visual editor for our documents to view our MongoDB data. Very useful. The nice thing about MongoDB Atlas is that it now allows us to actually use natural language to generate queries, to adjust the data. So it's like using prompts to actually connect with your data. So I'm going to be using this feature. I'm going to show you how it works. It's really cool. And kind of like probably the last tool we're going to be using is this very, very interesting GPT that we built. So to people who are not familiar with MongoDB ChatGPT extension, is we've created, let me increase that a little bit. We've created a ChatGPT builder GPT, which is published on the marketplace for ChatGPT. And it actually trained and have context on our methodology on how to model data. I'm going to pop also the banner for this one. So if you go to MDB link/MDB schema builder, you will be able to open a chat with our schema builder through ChatGPT. Which is really nice. And here is where we're going to be modeling our data model throughout the session. So we're going to be modeling it initially, then we're going to build the app. We're going to see whether things are making sense. Maybe we'll need to adjust some things, and we're going to brainstorm with ChatGPT. So I already, in order to save some time, I already started a conversation with MongoDB Schema Builder. And I said, I want to start brainstorming a schema to my music streaming platform. Don't jump to conclusions, and let's discuss potential schema. So sometimes LLM tend to initially jump to conclusions and tell you, yeah, I know what a streaming platform is, and give you a bunch of ideas. I wanted it to focus on like, maybe let's brainstorm it together. So it actually went and found, the potential entities. So it went and said, like, I believe you will have like users, songs, artists, albums, and playlists. And then it said, like, how do those entities relate, right? So we can see that it asks us, like, does a user have multiple playlists? Does a playlist contain multiple songs? Are songs belongs to albums or only appear in playlists? It asks about the query patterns, right? Because it's very important when you design your MongoDB, you need to understand, like, what are your main query patterns? Are you going to be fetching songs in a playlist? Are you going to be searching by artist or album or the name of the song? Do you have any history that you will want to retrieve? Then it went on asking, like, what is the data volume, right? And things like whether the application is read heavy or write heavy. And in its nature. And finally, it just asks about like do we need high flexibility? Our schema gonna evolve throughout the changes? Then it gave me some draft schema, but I honestly went and answered its questions. So I said, like, we don't have any albums, but all the others are yes. There is history of last plays and likes for user library. So we're actually going to be using a data set I have for background music that I work with with a researcher for music, and I built some articles with them, and we have this data set of like background music that is hosted on S3. So we only currently have this raw data, right? So we only have, let me increase that a little bit. So what I have is I have a bunch of JSON documents that describe like how can we get to specific songs, their BPM, their tempo, and the URL where those songs live in. So it's like if I had it in a CSV file or anything, like when you have your initial raw data that you want to serve throughout your platform, this is the way I have it currently, which is stored in this JSON file. Right, so I gave it my consideration, and it said, okay, I've analyzed whatever you said, and here are the key considerations. So I see users, songs, playlists, and listing history as the core entities for our application. We're going to be focusing on loading user information, songs per genre, and specific song details quickly. And it's a read-heavy workload, so we're going to be use index strategy on frequently queried fields like genre, tag, and song ID. Dynamic user data, right? Like we want to store likes and we want to store play history, so we also need to accommodate that. So the proposed schema that we got was, so this is our user collection, right? So it stores user profile information. And here we're going to see that we have, specific things like, the ID, the name, the email, and then we have likes, right? So if we like a song, this thing will be added to that array. So we'll have the song IDs added to that array. We also have playlists that we want to create for the specific logged in user, and the last played songs, right? So like what song were we playing in descending order. Then we have obviously the songs collection. This is mainly going to be built from our raw data, right? So we have the ID, the title, the artist, the duration of the song, the genre, the tags, the play count, and when it was last played. And finally, we have a playlist collection, right? So we have like specific playlist. Maybe that's a playlist that somebody created and not stored in their favorites. I don't know, but we'll have this playlist collection. And finally, we have the history collection, right? So we have history in two places. We have last played, and we have the history collection. So that seemed like a little bit odd to me. So I asked, so here it says like the different decision making and why it preferred embedding versus reference for every section. It gives us some nice sample queries, how to find different things within our collection. And I've asked, like, what about last played and history, how those work together, and when I need to know to show like songs, how would I use the list, right? So it said great questions. So it said like last played is the last 10 songs played, and it's there to improve user fetching, right? Because if the last played is stored together with a user profile, we can easily show it once a user clicks their profile. But if we want to dig down into the history and we're going to go, okay, show me more than the last 10 plays, then we need a collection that stores it. We cannot store all of our playing history within the user profile, because that will mean that we are actually growing this document probably indefinitely, and we don't want to do that. So it gives us a summary. We can discuss with the different questions that we have. It shows us how to query the data. So once a user plays a song, update list played this way. So use $push with $each, slice it to only keep the last 10, and give us like all the MongoDB kind of ideas of why to do that. And then our listening history, right? So we have all this, right? And the nice thing we can do now is we can say, can you generate an MD file to present it to my AI coder, focus on specifying the requirements and that we need, right? So we can ask something like that, and yeah, it will create this this empty file for us, and we can present it to V0. Right. So hopefully this thing will create this Python script and allow us to actually download the data. All right. So let's start by actually uploading. First, let's upload into our test collection, just the test collection. Let's upload our raw data so we'll have it in Mongo. Let's do import add data, import JSON or CSV, and we're gonna import that file. I also have a very interesting file here, which is the songs with embeddings. We're gonna see if we're gonna reach to that point where we can use embeddings, but yeah, let's import the data. All right, so now we see that we have the data in our test collection. It's not actually a collection that we're gonna use. We just imported that so we can basically morph that to whatever schema design we're gonna use. All right, so let's download the file. Okay, and our file is downloaded. All right, now we can go back to our project and take that file and actually upload it here. So let's go to downloads. This is our MD, right? We're uploading into the project, and now we're gonna start a conversation with our agent. Okay. So what do we want to write? So we're gonna say, please build an initial screens for our streaming platform. Use mock data to show some elements, and let's see if I have comment here. Hello everyone, by the way. Okay, so yeah, show some elements, and yeah, what else do we want? Can we use the dark mode design using the following background idea? So I'm gonna just upload I think here somewhere I have I really like those vague where most of the screen is black and some areas are green and purple. Okay, so we're gonna just say that, and we're gonna start the chat. So now our agent is gonna think, and it's gonna reason, and it's gonna start implementing our mock data. So yeah, so as you can see, we have we have some playlist data, some playlist data, some mock songs, and some artists, right? So it builds some mock data so we can actually work with it, and it starts creating the layout and the pages, which is really cool, right? We get a live editor here that we can actually work with. And the nice thing is, once we feel like we reached a point that the chatting with the system is not great. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So we hit an issue. The nice thing, we can immediately fix that with the V02. So the nice thing is we can fork the chats and create more chats along the way. So we can actually take a working point and clone it to another chart and start from a specific point, which is really good, because at some point the chats become really long and the context is being lost. So let's see. All right, cool. How cool is that? It created this very neat website. I do see that the background is not exactly what I wanted, so I can say I want the background to have some gradient, patterns, and also the songs should be shown as horizontal lists by genre. Okay, so if we're gonna go back to our MongoDB data, we see that we have here our song definition, right? So we'll probably start lining our data to that song definition. All right, let's go back. Okay, so it says I'll update and modify. Right, so let's see, in the mock data, do we have genres? Yeah, we have genres for our songs. Maybe we even need to align a little bit. Yeah, so yeah, let's say song collection should look like that. Right, so it's still modifying. We'll get a preview in a second. Okay, so green background. Yeah, I still see the background as just complete black. Gradient circles to the background. We can actually use a very nice tool where we can actually, specify what specific data are we referring to. This section is not visible as a title, and the background, okay, as a title, and the background is not using gradient patterns. Okay, and it actually specify like what am I talking to, and why our different genres are not visible here. Right, so it's gonna go and edit that. So meanwhile that it's editing the code, or it's already done. Okay, so now it's electric ambient, right? But we still don't have yeah. Can we specify everything? Okay, can we gradient circles on the background? Let's try again. If not, I'm gonna try and solve it later on. Meanwhile, we can go to our Atlas cluster and start reshaping our data to the way that we want. So first of all, let's take the let's take this song, right? So we can say to our natural language, like, I want to change the data to look similar to this, and let's write it to a collection called songs. Okay, and now it's gonna come up with the the different labels, and to regenerate that in a way that we can have tags along the way with other features, and put it with $out to something called songs. So yeah, let's run it and see what happens. All right, we have a duplicate key. All right, so so it said unique track ID. Okay, let's just remove the underscore ID and let it create the underscore ID by itself. Cool. So how easy was that, right? We could see that now it has reshaped the data, right? It did add some mock data like play count 500, which is not actually what happens. We can actually update that, so we can actually do that. Let's see, we can do update. And then say play count equals 0. Okay, and it shows that it's gonna basically do that and update 141 documents. So I say okay, and we see that the play count was trimmed to 0. All right, nice. Okay, so now we have our data in our MongoDB. At least we have the songs collection. Now we can go here. Yeah, let's go to this collection again. Let's edit that. And let's say, what else do we want? We want to create like playlist IDs with some songs. What else do we need? We need a playlist. We need a user collection, but users we can register. So we can actually build a playlist. But I want to build a playlist through the UI. Okay, so since we have the songs collection already available, we can have it here. Okay, so it applied the gradient to our different sets of titles. Okay, let's stick to that. Okay, so now I want some user management. I want to create a mock user management for my application. And Let's see if it does that. Okay, so it creates like the mock users. Yeah, it's not quite as we described in our file. So let me stop it and go back to our design and let him say, like, the user should look like this document. Right, so we can actually stop it, interfere, and just try to ask it to build something else. So meanwhile, that it's doing the editing to our code, we can go and start maybe connecting this thing to our MongoDB. We already have the songs collection. Okay, so it says like this is the mock features. The mock users now look more like the user that we want. So it's going to be finished soon. And basically, as soon as like the code is ready, we can hit this deploy button and deploy it to Vercel. But we're going to be starting our backend within a few minutes, where we're going to connect it to our MongoDB. One important thing I've done is, in order to connect that easily, I've allowed network access basically from anywhere at this point, just for the sake of this live stream and the testing, to allow connections to my database from V0. Right. Okay. So now we have this user, John Doe. Yeah, it placed all this all this information on this weird section. Let's ask it to move the user to the header and build a profile page. All right. Meanwhile, let's go to our MongoDB collection, to the songs collection. Yeah, and I see that we need to play a little bit with the artist names, because they're always repeating. So yeah, let's play around with this. Help me generate sample artist names for my documents. Yeah, let's see what it will do. Okay, so it just showed me the names. Okay, help me just create a sample. Let's say off. Replace the user, the artists, with artist 1, artist 2, etc. Nice. So try to rank it. That on a function. Okay. Etc. Okay. Maybe we can use something like you know what? Let's update. Let's update the artist name to artist for now. Yeah, let's update all documents. And now what we can do is we can say, add the genre of the song to the artist field and store back to songs. Okay, so now we kind of, so we have the artist and the artist with the genre, which will represent our artist. Okay. And then we want to do the $out to do songs. Run. Okay, go to collection. Okay, so now we have our artist named like that. And now we can say, create an artist collection with data from this collection looking like, then we can take the artist. Where was the artist? Where was the artist idea that the schema builder suggested? Artist, songs, users, songs, playlist. Oh, we actually don't have an artist collection. Okay, interesting. Okay, so we don't need to do it. All right, so now you can see we have the profile. If we go to profile, we see the different profiles. Really nice. So we got like all the info, and yeah, let's just say I want a green and black theme, and once a song is clicked, I want a component to and show the playing song. Okay, so we're gonna just wrap up the design, and we can, so this one doesn't exist. Home is just here. Images does not exist. All right. Okay, so now it's gonna just adjust a little bit the application. We can start basically connecting our cluster. So what we do now is we're going to get the connection string for our database. I'm going to say copy connection string. I'm going to copy the connection string. And now once it's ready, we can actually start and connect this thing to MongoDB. All right, there was quite a few changes because we've actually added like an important component of the player and added the song IDs and the song genres. So from this point, once we add MongoDB, we'll need to deploy it and view it on the Vercel side every time. So they're going to be a bit of like bumping back and forth. Maybe I can, meanwhile, think about the indexes that were suggested by the schema builder. So obviously underscore ID is index, but we have genres, we have tags, we have user ID in the listening history. Those collections does not exist yet. So yeah, let's just do genres and tags for now. So we're gonna go to the index tab and we're gonna index those fields because those are gonna be our predicates. So genre 1, create index, very simple. Tags 1, create index, That's it. We're ready with the indexes. Let's see. All right. Once we play a song, we have this player pop up, right? It plays something. I don't know. Maybe I'll need to reshare my screen with sound later on. All right, great. So now we can actually go and connect this to MongoDB. So how do we do that? So as you saw, I copied the connection string from my compass, but here I'm going to say I want to connect my MongoDB and the songs collection in MongoMP database to this application. Add the URI secret and secret to the project and build the necessary APIs. All right, so as soon as we ask that, what happens is now the code is going to be adapting to have like a full stack application, right? So what are we, what it's going to do is hopefully it's going to ask for, the connection string and add it. Okay, so you see it asks me for the secret. Let's start by adding the MongoDB URI as an environment variable to my project. Really cool. Really like this feature. So I can paste my connection string, submit it. Now it's stored on the Vercel project, and it gives us a link to just see that it was stored on the Vercel project. And now it can actually code and add the necessary components for it to be connected to our MongoDB database. All right, so we're starting by coding the MongoDB TS, which will be our general lib to connect to Mongo. We can see the code here. It's pretty boilerplate coding. That's what's really good about AI, is that it was learned and taught about like how to create this boilerplate coding. What else? Okay, so now we have the API. You see there's the API starting to being created in our package, and we have different APIs, right? So we have the songs collection, and we can find by genre, which is really nice. So it already coded this idea of, looking up all songs and looking up specific genres for our data. All right, and it said, I've built also a seeding script, but we're not going to use that. Build the libs MongoDB TS, the song TS, which is the TypeScript interface, the APIs. And yeah, now, as you can see, we cannot preview that from here anymore. So we'll need to click here and say confirm and deploy to Vercel. And this will initiate the build and deploy to Vercel, which is really cool. And then we can view our application. Maybe it will error out. Maybe we'll have some things to fix. But obviously, we're still developers. We're still building things. And that's why we're going to still do debugging, do problem solving, right? Okay, yeah. So we hit some issues, right? So there was something with the deploy that didn't work, which actually on the front end side. So yeah, I'm gonna just paste it back, and hopefully that's gonna fix. It's gonna fix my application. Actually, I have a very neat component that I've built for this, in the idea of having a streaming platform, which is like an animation of playing song bars on different songs instead of having just empty boxes. But yeah, let's see. So it fixed. We need to deploy again, right? And we'll continue deploying until we get a successful build, pretty much. And once it's built, it will be built. We can actually see that application, we're gonna get a link here. Right, let me remove the current banner so it will stop interfering. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second, and I'm gonna share the screen again. And yeah, to share audio, I need to share a specific tab. Okay, so we'll do it later to share a specific tab. Okay, so we'll do it later on once we need. Okay. All right, so our application was built, and yeah, we get another error. Now we need to go to our logs here and see what happened. So actually, the API songs worked, but we probably hit something on the something on the front end, right? So we're gonna just get that error and just place it back here, and hopefully we'll understand. Maybe we should clarify again what is the structure of our documents. So I'll go here. Oh, actually, we don't have the URL. That's not nice. We don't have a URL to play from. Yeah, let me fix that. Okay, let's see. Okay, I want to merge the URL. Let's close some tabs. Yeah, I want to merge the URL. Merge the URL to be included in the songs collection based on the into title. Right, let's generate that. See if it understands what I want to do. So okay, so we're okay. We're replacing root. All right. Oh no, it did the opposite. Yeah, let's do it from here. So let's take the same prompt and say, I want to merge the URL to be included in the songs collection from test based on, okay. Okay, so what it went and did, it said title. Okay, yeah, so it returns an empty field, dollar full text or alt mix. Yeah, let's just ask for want a quick shells Mongo shell script. The URL from what's the name of that collection? The name of that collection is from test collection to songs collection. based on this name to comparing to title in songs. Okay, let's just get a here's a MongoDB shell script. Okay, so it iterates over matching song, DB songs, update. Yeah, just that we need to. Yeah, we need the other way around. Yeah, let's see if that works. All right, so we can open a Mongo shell here. Right. Oh, I don't wanna query that. I'm gonna take this one and say, okay, we're gonna iterate the songs collection, and we're gonna match the matching test for, yeah. And here is title. And we're gonna update the matching song. If there's a matching song, we're gonna update the matching song title. Matching song. And I'm gonna place the URL. Okay, so I'm gonna run on the songs for each song. One. Yeah, hopefully that's not too much of a hustle, because I'm gonna do a lot of scans here, but yeah, we should probably index the this one, and index on songs, index the title one. So create index title. Sorry. I'm not sure if it. Oops. No, I don't want it. It's still running. I don't know. Let's go back to our to here. Let's deploy this one and see if we can still fetch the data from Mongo. And now we're gonna try and fix our data a little bit. What will be the best way of doing that? Yeah, I think this one. Sorry. I think this script should work. Like for every song, go and take the title and set the matching. Oh, the matching URL. Okay, yeah. Set the matching song URL from here. Okay, hopefully this one will run. Maybe it stops running. Now can run another version while previous is not finished. Okay. db.songs.find one. Yeah, let's just take the top. Let's just do limit 5. If matching song. Maybe they're not matching for some reason. Let me see. Where was it? Sorry. Songs. Okay, this one has this one has like, oh yeah. This is the name. Okay, so that's my bad. Yeah, let's see. I've mistimed this thing. Okay. All right. Okay, so this one is finished. Okay, now we have the URL here. Okay, so we have the URLs here. Let's see what happens here. Okay. Okay, so now we can see our data, and this data is coming from MongoDB. We have everything only pop. Right, the featured one is not relevant here. Okay, so we have it's not really playing anything. And let's say use. Okay, first of all, we can go back to our script and run it on all the data set. Oh yeah, without a limit. All right, now we're gonna just update all the documents to have URLs. I wonder if it will play the URL without the, yeah, it should play it. Okay, so we can say use URL property to play the data, to play the audio content, and use it to derive the duration. All right, cool. So now we're gonna derive the duration from the URL field. All right, let's see if now all of our songs have URLs. Yeah, it looks like or not. Yeah, I think the problem here is because we don't have an index. It takes longer time, and then it disconnects once I leave. So yeah, let's index that as well, just for the sake of the scripts to work. And this is how development actually do. You don't expect all the things to be happening smoothly, so you always need to find your ways around things. Okay, so we deployed the latest version. So what was done here, we've updated the song type to include the URL field. We've created a custom use audio hook, and we added this URL to our component. And now it's nice. Now we hopefully will be able to actually play our music sound. from the application. Oh, it failed. All right, let's see what happened this time. Some bugs. We can just copy that, go here, and place that. Okay, and say error. So we already are on our 13 version. We can go back in versions, but as soon as we'll hit like 15 or 16 versions, we'll fork the chat. I'm going to carry over the stream a little bit because I want to make this thing workable, add some searching mechanism, maybe some playlisting and users, and we'll be right there. We'll have a nice functioning app. All right, let's deploy this one. Let's see if this one is completed. It says it is completed. Some of them don't have URLs for some reason. Okay. All right. This thing is still deploying and still building. Next, we're going to fork it and we're going to build our user management, and we create the playlists, right? Like the playlists for our database. We also only have the genre of pop, huh? Tags. I think the pipeline that we run actually overwritten some of the documents here, huh? Because here I have different genres. For some reason, it didn't take that. So we can actually update that the same way. The same way we've done the script here. So we can actually say, whenever, so whenever the title is okay, take the genre and place it on your genre. All right, let's run this thing. And hopefully I spelled that correctly. All right, so this one is ready. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so let me share the tab so you can hear it. Let me do stop sharing, present, share screen, specific tab, right, share. Can you hear that? Can you see that? Hopefully, yes. All right, our platform is working. It is not working here, so maybe we can fix this widget. But playing stop, we don't have browse stations. Those buttons does not work. The library is basically nothing at the moment, but we can definitely change that. All right, so here we have all the different songs. They vary based on I guess that they should be all kind of collapsing, like having the same height of labels. We can fix that. All right, let's see if our script has finished. Let's go to songs. Genre comedy. Okay, now we have different genres. Okay, let's reload that and see what happens. Okay, let's ask it like why genre, can you use the collection to show genres and show tags based on the tags field. Also make the player widget to stop and start song. All right, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop the screen sharing and get back to the entire screen. The entire screen presentation. All right, it fixes a lot of the components, and hopefully now we'll have the tags and the different genres distributed successfully. Meanwhile, I'm going to do something really nice is I'm going to go to indexes and I'm going to enable a search index. So if you don't know, Atlas has the ability to create search indexes and index your data with full text search and with vector search. So for now, we're just going to use the Atlas search index to map everything dynamically within songs. And that will allow us to actually search different songs by their names, by the genres, and hopefully we can add that to our application. So it's very easy to create that index through Compass. Just click the create index with a default dynamic mapping all the fields together. We're done with this thing. Now we can basically deploy. We can deploy this, the new features of adding tags, adding the different genres, so we can see them as in streaming platforms and being able to play from the widget. And then we're going to move on to building the playlists really quickly, just to have a user in a playlist web page, and that will kind of conclude our effort here. All right. Okay, so this is our application now, and you can see that now we have the different genres within our database. So each genre got its own section. And once we play that, we can pause it from here or pause it from here. Let's the one final thing. Instead of having the empty images, let's have a random gradient square on each song. Okay, so we're gonna fix that, and then we're gonna fork it to another chat, and we're gonna do the user management really quickly. Oops, sorry. All right. Just adding some nice UI perks, and we're gonna move to creating the user. As you can see, the UI changed a little bit, right? And that's just what we need to keep on. Like when we're coding with AI, we're gonna see some elements change, and that's why we need to have like checkpoints and maybe kind of return and reemphasize the screenshots from like our design schemas. We can use Figma here, which is really nice. We can connect our Figma to our Atlas UI and to our V0 UI coding, and it can actually read from our Figma design UI. All right, so I'm gonna deploy this one last version. Hopefully, this one is a working version, and I'm going to. Once it's deployed successfully, I'm gonna use this button to create a new chat and continue on, coding a little bit longer this time, just so I want to make it work. Okay, is it still deploying? Still deploying. All right. So it was successfully deployed. So I can push the fork button, and we got this new chat. I'm gonna say here user management, and let's do this. I want to create my users and register them in the database. See the potential user user document, right? So we can go here again. Let's refresh that. Okay, we'll go here again, and we're gonna show it. How do we want our user to be looking like? Yeah, so this is like the sample of our user. Add here this structure when you create and operate on users. Okay. Never mind that I do grammar mistakes or like spelling mistakes. Obviously, it understands the essence. All right, so it's gonna be creating the user route, and we can then continue on. Once the users are kind of ready, we can continue on playlist and search. I don't know what we should do first. Maybe we should do search first. I see here comments about windsurf and cursor. So I personally used cursor very briefly. I do recommend something called Cline, which is a VS Code extension, very nice VS Code extension that works with LLMs. The ease of deployment here is what and the ease of like backend integration is what got me really hooked with that project. And this is why I wanted to show how easy it is to code with Mongo, change your schema design and adapt your data to your application, and vice versa. Like if we now want to change the way our song's looking like, we can basically just prompt the builder that we're gonna change that and run a simple script on Mongo that's gonna add, remove fields, change them, reshape them, right? That's the biggest advantage of using MongoDB. So it's a flexible general purpose storage database, which has very nice features like vector search, Atlas search, full indexing on every level. So it doesn't really matter what LLM or what coder is using MongoDB. It'll have like easy time to do that with Mongo because LLMs are used to JSONs, used to formatting and receiving APIs like the JSON format. So yeah, so it's much easier to build apps this way. All right. Okay, nice. So we have the gradient that I asked for every song, and we have this user. If we do log out, does nothing. So let's ask it to kind of actually. All right. Just build a simple form. Just build a simple form to register or sign in. Yeah, because I'm afraid it's going to go to Next.auth because it's built on Next.js. So yeah, it might try to implement Next.auth. So yeah, no, it went into doing the auth form. Yeah, but this is really neat, right? Like the way, the ease of creating those UI elements and adjusting them to our data. So, and having the tags from our database, the number of plays, we can actually, maybe that's a nice addition, is to increase the number of plays every time we actually play a song. We'll see how easy or how complex this will be. So yeah, interesting how many pages. Oh, okay. Okay, so implement proper session management on MongoDB based integration to keep users logged in. Update user menu to component to current user information. All right. Okay, let's see if we'll hit an error here or not. Because those tasks are sometimes a little bit complex. So let's wait to see once it's finished deploying, and then we can monitor our database and see if we have a users collection created. Okay, let's close the different versions. Obviously, we can manage everything through the deployment. Where is this? Okay. What's the best way to connect Cursor to MongoDB? So Cursor is an IDE, right? It's an IDE with AI in it. So, the best way to connect it is just ask it to write, the driver code that needs to work within your project to connect to MongoDB. It will know how to create those files the same way that V0 created the MongoDB TS. Which exposes the Mongo client to the different API routes, right? So every API route actually have like the get user collection, for example, and the register one. Sorry, the song one will probably fetch. Let me see. Maybe the main one. This one uses the client directly, but then it sets the database and it just uses the code to query Mongo. So maybe I'll even increase the font a little bit. Okay, so what do we have now? Okay, so we still have this placeholder, but now we have sign in. Okay, so let's say I'm doing Pavel. I don't know. Let's put my let's put example. And then password ABC. Register. Error. An error occurred during registration. Okay, let's inspect. All right, we got an error on the back end. So let's go to our deployment, right, and go to logs. And oops, you see this is the error. Oh, the password is too small, but we didn't get a proper response. So let's do 123 123 register. Okay, now we are registered. Okay, so we need to improve a little bit the okay, so it still shows the Jane Doe thingy. Let's see if we have something in our database that's changed. All right, so we have the users collection, and here we have the hashed password. We have likes, playlists, and everything created for us, which is really, really neat. We just need to make sure that, the UI does not reflect a user login, and we should be able to have like buttons to add songs to our like list. All right, let's do this one really quickly. And hopefully we'll just, with one prompt, we'll implement the search. That would be really cool. All right, so we're editing the user menu, which will now have actual data from our database and not some stab mock data from our mock files. Yeah, maybe I asked too much. Sometimes I really tempted to tell it to do a lot of changes. Sometimes it succeeds. Sometimes it kind of gets back at me because I get errors, and I know I need to debug them and debug it with the editor. So yeah, we need to keep it, always try to keep it pretty small, or as small as possible. I do pay or have a subscription for V0. That's why I have larger ability to send more messages. I guess that if you're using the free one, you'll have like a limited amount of requests that you can do with V0. Maybe with Cursor as well, because I remember that I did end up with Cursor having some at some point some stalls and some kind of like slower responses. All right. Okay. So let's see if that fixes that UI issue, and then we can quickly move to our search area where we can search. We can basically search different songs. Even if the like button doesn't completely work now, I'll move to the search. Okay. So we hit and build error. So we need to ask it to fix that. What's the build error? You're importing a point that needs Next.js, next headers. That only works, whatever. Yeah. So maybe it had some hiccup. Right. So as long as it codes the yeah, let's just show you how the search works. So we can do here is we can say I want an aggregation that uses $search to locate a string in title, genre, and tags, for example. Okay. Yeah, let's beat. Let's use pop. Okay, so this found songs that have pop on them. you see that it's like case insensitive. Let's look at good, right? So here we have title feeling good, good for good, struggle for good, right? We got all the different things. And now the nice thing we can use here is we can do export. Sorry. Is that export? No, that's actually exporting the data. There is export to language. So I think it's on this tab. So here, yeah, maybe it's here. Okay. So we can actually export it into Node syntax. So we can actually use that to hopefully confirm and deploy. Oh, it did fix the error and I didn't deploy it. Yeah, let's hopefully this one will work. So you saw how easy it was for me to kind of build the search aggregation using the natural language. So I can now copy this thing and right. It's still deploying to my website. Hopefully that's successfully deployed this time. Okay, yeah. Oh no. Client-side error. Yeah, this is the life of the developer. Blah, 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 occurred. Okay, yeah, I don't know. There's a client-side error. Client-side error on main page. Boop. Yeah, maybe I'll go back to the previous version and just add the search capabilities because I don't want to. Yeah, we need to add error handling and fallback UI for the server components. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know what exactly that means. I don't know if he knows exactly what that means. He builds a favicon for me. All right. Yeah, maybe we'll go back to a working version in order to wrap up. All right, this one is building. Which version have worked for us? I think it was version 4. No. I want the UI. Okay, yeah. So this one worked. So what we can do is we can add a comment here so we can actually manually edit it. Oops. One, right, add a comment. And now we can, once we save that, we can actually fork the chat from here, from this version. And we'll say add search component on main page. On main page. And use Atlas search to perform the search. Let's see what it does. Okay, so this one is running. We can actually go to our library and go to this place and see whether the fix fixed it. No, now we have even a worse error. So yeah, so we need to kind of debug that as well. Let's go to let's go to this place, which should allow us to search. And yeah, Okay, that's finished. Let's see if that one will work. Hopefully we've worked a working version this time. And we can perform our Atlas search the same way we did in our Compass UI. So we're deploying. Okay, so let's wrap up what we did. So we actually started by defining a project in our project tab, right? We gave it like the instructions. We try to keep our code as minimal as possible. We uploaded this MD file, which we generated from our MongoDB schema builder, which is a GPT that is available through the link that I've shared with you, and you can try it out through your ChatGPT and discuss your MongoDB schemas with it. Give us feedback on that. I'm gonna raise again the MDB schema builder link. And then we went on to V0 and placed that and started chatting with the V0 interface to actually build our application and connected it to MongoDB eventually. Let's see. Where are we? Here. Yeah, this one was the one that should have added. Oh no, yeah. We hit another error. Maybe I didn't fork it. Okay. What should we fix first? Okay, let's quickly fix that, or try to fix that. All right, logs. Okay, maybe I didn't fork the correct working version. This is one of the problems that you cannot render the website directly in V0, is because you are constantly stuck in that loop, right? And we need to find a working version. So until this thing is being deployed, let's try to deploy the fixed. I apologize for the error in the build process. It seems there's an issue with how we're using error boundary component. And to a client component, here's how we update this thing. All right, so hopefully this will fix it. Let's see if we can go back to a working version and just show the app one more time. Okay, maybe this was the working one. Let me see. Oop. No, this had an error. This one should. Oh, it always jumps. Deployed. This one was deployed successfully. No, it had a client-side error. No, it should have published this one, but yeah. I don't know. Okay, this one is deployed. Let's see if this one, no, this one still has the client-side error. Okay, let's go back to our initial chat where we had this thing and had version, last version. Okay, this was a working version. So let's add our search, add search of component of songs using $search. Oops, no, this wasn't the one. Yeah, this wasn't the thing that I wanted to copy. I wanted to copy this thing. Yeah, okay. Use $search to search the songs. let's see if from that working version, we'll basically add the API, the routes to get using search params. So it actually says if there is a query, I'm going to use Atlas search, which is pretty neat. So yeah, it takes some iteration. Obviously, nothing comes for complete free. Like, you can be amazed by the way it can code. Sometimes it can make mistakes, and then we need to have those checkpoints and go back and try to kind of maybe refactor some of the stuff that we did, prompt it differently. And we need to keep those kind of ideas that we have to keep the working version aligned. The nice thing here is you can actually download files, or you have this code base thing that you can download the zip or add it to your additional project, which is also pretty cool. Okay, let's publish it one last time, and then we'll wrap up this one because this one took longer than I thought. Obviously, nothing was built up ahead, just I had the raw data. So yeah, we came a long way for like an actual working prototype of our application. Using zero code, right? I didn't code anything. Even on the MongoDB side, I just prompted and used prompts to kind of work with my MongoDB database, which is also really cool. Helps me learn how to do some of the aggregation stuff. All right, this one is deployed. All right, okay, so we have the search. Let's do good search. All right, okay, so now we got only all the genres, right? Because we don't have any other ability. And yeah, that's nice. We used Atlas search, so we can actually find all pop, and we have pop, and we have pop indie, and we have pop more modern orchestral. So that's really nice. So we actually use Atlas search this quickly to do full text search on our data pretty easily, pretty fast. So yeah, with that successful note, I'm going to be thanking everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to register to Atlas, to try it out, to try and build your next thing with V0 and Atlas. And hope to see you soon next week. So thank you all for joining, and bye-bye.